I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm sick as fuck. I don't feel great at all, but I promise you guys a video every single Friday, so I am going to hold my end of the bargain. So I had a plan originally for this video. I was going to do some game. I was going to play Path of Titans. I had this whole thing planned, and then I realized I don't have the means to do it the way I want it to. Plus, I feel like I'm really getting into this just talking on the microphone thing. So let me know down below if you would want to see actual gaming videos. We'll see. This is all kind of going off the dome, like how I do things here.
I'm coming in. Ooh. I'm gonna get this. Hold on. Can we come back?
So instead, I decided to talk about something else I care very much about. Talked about it in the first video in this series. I'm going to do it again. We're going to talk about Runescape. So I'm going to be honest, the premise of this, I came up with it 10 minutes ago. I have a friend, he told me the other night, he's like, man, I really just want another MMO. And I was like, dude, you should try out old school Runescape. And he's like, nah, I didn't play it as a kid, so I don't know if I'd enjoy it now. And I was like, that's valid. But no. So I'm going to be honest with you. This whole video is just me going to be giving reasons you should play RuneScape. I'm going to be sneezing all video. So I apologize for how I sound. But we're getting this thing done, and then I'm going to burn this microphone. So yeah, we're going to be talking about RuneScape today. Now, I know in the last time I brought up RuneScape, I did not talk at all about the game itself, really. I realized that when I made it. I feel like it just needed its own video. So if you don't know, RuneScape is my favorite video game of all time. Let me be clear. Old school RuneScape is my favorite game of all time. If you don't know, there's two RuneScapes. There's old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3. Long story short, the old RuneScape, it had an update that fucked everything up and everyone said, fuck this, we're gone. And they found a 2007 version of the game and they brought it back, and that's the current version that's really popping off. It's essentially the game in 2007, but then they just started adding more updates that were different than how it originally did it. So it's in time they split and went two different directions. I play old school RuneScape. I played RuneScape 3. It scratches some kind of itch, just not mine. Whew, my ears just popped. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, old school RuneScape, that's the game I play. What is it? So at the end of the day, RuneScape is a medieval point and click game. You click on an object, it does some kind of action. Whether it's chopping a tree, mining some coal, fishing a spot, fighting a motherfucker, clicking is going to do something, whether it moves you, vice versa. It's an MMO. Essentially, you have a character, you click on things, they give you experience points. It's hard to explain the game, man, because it's got quests, it's got goals, but at the end of the day, the goal is whatever you want it to be. At the end of the day, your goal in RuneScape is to level up these skills. That's a new one down there. There's not a clear goal. There's a bunch of different goals. So there is a quest system. The quest system, I think, in this game is the most unique out of any game I've ever played. So typically in an MMO, you go up to a guy, he's like, kill 15 rats. You run off, you kill the 15 rats, you come back, he gives you some coins and slaps you on the butt and tells you to move on with your life. So RuneScape does it a little differently. Each quest is its own story. And then within those quests, there's other quest storylines. My favorite is the vampire quest line. There's a bunch of stinker quests in the beginning, but they have released some banger quests. I think they're releasing another one this summer that kind of ties it all up. I'm so hyped for it. Shitty level, so I probably won't be able to do it, but I can admire it from a distance. And that's something I should also clarify with me talking about RuneScape. I'm casual, bro. If you watched in my last gaming video, I talk about I'm not competitive. I'm casual as can come. So I have two accounts. I have a main account and then I have an Iron Man. My Iron Man is what I currently play on, and the stats are these right here. And I have a main account and the stats are this right here. So I'm not good. I don't even have a fire cape. No, I don't have the fire cape. I've never gotten it. I've gotten close. I've gotten a Jad every time I've attempted it, but every time I miss a click, and just the amount of time it takes to just get through the fire cave, it's dedication that I just haven't had. I think Video coming soon. I've thought of it in the works. If you guys are getting a gaming video, I feel like the proper first one is me getting a fire cape. So if this video gets 10 likes, I will release me getting the fire cape. I'll do it. I just need 10. I feel like that's a reachable goal. Anyway, getting back into RuneScape. With the quests, there's some really cool ones. Just questing through the game is already just an adventure of its own. Within those quests, they unlock new areas for you to go, new weapons, new items, all sorts of stuff. And the story is pretty cool. There's quests as simple as just making a cake. There's quests so complicated that you're like going to different dimensions to fight vampire lords. There's such a vast difference between them. The lore is really cool as well. We're currently in the 5th age. There's been different ages before. Different things have happened. There's been gods that fight each other. There's this vast, deep lore that you can explore as much as you would like. Through the quest lines, you kind of learn about the lore, but you know, there's books you can find. There's some sources online. Which also gets me to, like, if you do want to find that stuff, you can find any answers you need in this game. This game has a wiki, the RuneScape wiki. It is the most detailed thing you will ever find. If you are wondering about this very specific item that only has one purpose in the entire game and no one ever touches it, it probably has 5 pages worth of information on it. It's detailed. Anything you can need is on that wiki. So you can like look up quest guides. However, it's a really fun time to go through those quests without looking up any help or anything. It'll piss you off a couple times. Be careful on what quest you do that on. But
surely this is like the end of the quest now. Return to Arin 1. Thank for that. Get me out this shit library. Didn't even read one fucking book, let me tell you, and it was an absolute pain in the arse.
Some of them are kind of fun to do. Again, doing those quests will unlock things for you, but that's not, doing all the quests isn't the final goal. Completing all the quests, you get a quest cape, which gives you some cool stuff, but like that's not beating the game. Oh yeah, so it's probably like the high-end levels and stuff. Yeah, there's high-end PvE content, tons of bosses that drop stuff. So there's different kind of bosses in the game. There's like your traditional boss, you gotta go to boss layers. There's things called Slayer bosses. So what Slayer is, it's another skill. Essentially you go up to a Slayer master and it's like, I want to murder stuff. And he's like, 10 chickens, give me their heads. You just go kill 10 chickens, come back. Alright, 275 dragons. That could actually happen. I don't know if it's actually that drastic, but like this, he'll just give you a random assignment and you go kill it. Slayer bosses, and those are like money pits. They drop some crazy stuff. I wouldn't know, I haven't gotten there yet. And then there's actually full-on raids. So RuneScape has 3 raids. It has Tombs of a Masket, Theater of Blood, and Chamber of Zarek. They are like the top tier of content. You get amazing rewards, game-changing items. Like speaking of drops, RuneScape is a grind fest of a game because it is just RNG based.
No way, dude! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Like there are a handful of quests that give you like these major cool rewards, but for the most part, like, best items you got to either do the raids or do some late game PVM bossing. And don't get me wrong, there's a trading system. You can trade and get those items without having to do it, but it's gonna obviously cost you. Like new stuff when that comes out, it costs a pretty penny. There's trading in this game. You can be a merchant in it. There's like people in this community that just are selling stocks, but with RuneScape gold.
Something just came across my desk, John. It is perhaps the best thing I've seen in the last 6 months. If you have 60 seconds, I'd like to share the idea with you.
And don't get me wrong, with RuneScape Gold, it's funny. There's a whole country ran off of RuneScape. RuneScape fuels the entire country of Venezuela. There's a lot of Venezuelan people that they take a job to just farm up RuneScape Gold, and then they sell it off to people that will buy it, which is against the rules. Don't do that. This is against the rules. Jagex, I'm a good guy. That's a whole thing. Also, the cool thing about RuneScape is you can literally play that game and never have to drop a penny on it. You can make a free account, sell stuff, get enough money to get membership. Now it's a grind to do that. It ain't an easy task. You can't just scroll in and go do it, but it is a thing you can do. There's a bunch of videos out there where it's getting 0 GP to bond in 24 hours. There's a way you can do it. If you learn how to do it, you can do it. But also, speaking of trading, there's a whole nother game mode, and this is where I was talking about my Iron Man. If you don't know what that is, Iron Man mode is essentially a single player RuneScape. You can't trade with anyone. There is a group Iron Man setting where you group up with at least 4 people, and then you 4 can trade and do whatever with each other, but it's just you 4.
Rest in peace, my granny, she got hit by a bazooka. Yeah, I think about it every time I hit the hookah.
But Iron Man is you have to get all your items yourself. You have to farm all your resources yourself. You can buy from like shops in the town, but like you're on your own. And I don't know, I personally like the Iron Man mode. I feel accomplished a lot more whenever I get something. I feel like I've learned more of the game when you do Iron Man. But also, it's fun to do a main account. Go buy like this cool hat and just run around in it. And so in your Iron Man mode, it's really important to keep up with your skills. Now I realize up to this point, I haven't really talked a whole lot about skills. Skills are weird. Not really weird. They're really simple. But so in RuneScape, you have a set of skills. These are right here. Each of them do something different, obviously. Wood cutting, you're cutting trees. Mining, you're hitting rocks. Fishing, you're fishing, right? Some of those are pretty self-explanatory. If you're on a main account, there's a lot of things you can just buy, so you don't have to full out grind for them. But back to the Iron Man mode, let's say I want a green dragon hide body. That's whatever that crafting level is. And then I gotta get to that, kill the dragons, go get their hide, because I can't go buy that anywhere. And then I gotta craft it. There was a video I watched recently where they talked about an infinite efficiency loop.
Can use an oak shortbow, which would help me kill these enemies faster, so I go and make one. And this is where the trap and the addiction of RuneScape's true gameplay loop begins. Everything stacks together. And this leads us to the paradox of efficiency. I could just go and buy everything I need from the Grand Exchange, but let's follow the process to actually supply the player economy. An oak shortbow needs a fletching level of 20 to go and make, so it's time to train fletching. I start woodcutting to get logs and fletch them into arrow shafts. But while doing this, I reach level 10 woodcutting, and this means I can now use an iron hatchet, so it'll be efficient to go and get one of those. This means I need to mine some iron ore, but this needs level 10 mining, so I go and mine copper and tin until I hit level 10 mining, but even with the iron ore, I still can't smith it, so I train smithing using the copper and tin I've just got. But then I realize at 10 mining I can use an iron pickaxe, which would make mining quicker, so I spend some time making that to gather the iron ore faster to make the iron hatchet. But then I need feathers, so it's back to killing chickens, but I remember you can get feathers from hunting birds faster, so it's back to setting up snares. I collect a ton of feathers, then grab some flax from the fields to be spun into a bowstring. Now the oak bow will need an oak log, and that needs oak trees, and they need 15 woodcutting, so I go and get chopping every tree I can. I hit level 16 range entirely through killing chickens just to gather the feathers needed to make the arrows, and eventually I hit 20 fletching and make the oak bow.
But essentially, in this infinite efficiency loop, to become more efficient in one thing, you gotta go get a thing from another thing. And it's so much fun. For example, on my Iron Man, my current goal right now, and I've on and off this goal for a while, I want to get 99 agility. When in these skills, when you actually get them to 99, you get a cape. Now, each skill cape, when you get to 99, it gives you some kind of ability. Capes are pretty cool. If you get all of them, you get like this max cape. The max cape gives you every single skill cape's abilities. I'm trying to complete 99 agility so I can get the agility cape. Or there's an outfit in this game called the graceful set, and it is just what everyone wears nowadays. So I figured I'd dye my whole set purple. I get the agility cape. I at least look like I know what I'm doing, because it is efficient to wear it. When you wear the agility fit, it reduces your stamina drain or something like that. So there's just like a bunch of efficient ways to do things and train efficiently. Let's talk about training these skills. So the cool thing about RuneScape is you kind of can pick your poison. The grind is not an easy task. Maxing takes time, effort, and commitment. I've never done it. I think in my entire time playing RuneScape, I maybe have had 2 maxed, not accounts, like 99 levels. Like on my main, I have 99 fletching, and on my Iron Man, I have 99 fire making. And I have been playing since I was a kid. I think I started in 2009, maybe 2009, something like that. I just haven't been. I'm not good at games. I love turning on a movie and AFK training something. When the new skill sailing came out, my favorite thing to do is I would turn on a movie or a show, and I would go the salvaging. And I would just watch a movie and salvage. Literally, while I was editing this video, I started AFKing, salvaging, just to get some stuff done. But then, currently, like in my agility grind, I am doing the Hollowed Sepulcher, which is essentially like an agility course from hell. Dodging traps and shit. It's really fun, but it's tedious. I can't just like sit and ignore it. Kind of building off of that, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can kind of do it wherever you want. So RuneScape is a computer game. However, there is a mobile version. I have probably sunk more hours into mobile RuneScape than I have any other way of consuming it. up until recently, I haven't really had a computer that runs it, which I know is crazy. RuneScape, you can't run something on that. I use Macs for efficiency, and I had a Mac that I used for a long time, and it ran it okay, but I finally got a laptop recently. So I've been able to actually use the computer, which is more efficient because you get other plugins and stuff. Also, that's the thing about plugins, that people have made this game efficient. If you're a person that likes numbers and spreadsheets, this is also your game. There's a whole client called RuneLight that gives you all these extra features. And these features aren't like game changing, but low-key kind of are. Like, for example, there's a whole quest plugin that it just tells you what to click, exactly what to do. People make accounts all the time, and they've done this quest millions of times, so they just want to spacebar through it. There's like calculators for everything you can think of. So it makes things hella efficient. And then there's some people that don't really care about training their skills. They just want to take your shit. So RuneScape does have PvP, but I like how they do it. There's an area that you can go to, and that's where PvP is. It's a lot like the Division, the Dark Zone, kind of the same idea, which I also love that. Up north, there's a place called the Wilderness. If you're in the Wilderness, there's certain levels where you can't be attacked within like level range, but you go into the Wilderness, you can get murdered by anyone. And PvP in this game is... So how the combat in RuneScape works is it's essentially a rock, paper, scissors match. The bare basics, you and 2 other players exchange attacks. There's a thing called a ping system that you guys hit every other so tick. The game randomly D&D rolls to see if you're going to hit, and if it hits, cool, you get a certain amount of damage. If it rolls up, you need block, you don't get any damage. And the other person does the same thing back at you. There's 3 forms of combat, or 3 styles of combat. There's melee, ranged, and magic. And they kind of have this like combat triangle situation. Sword takes out the ranger guys. The rangers shoot the wizards with their arrows from a distance, and the wizards can melt the armor. I don't know how it works, like in logic, but there's a combat triangle. There's also a thing called your prayer system. Your prayer system does is essentially like a buff that you get to select. You have a prayer bar or prayer meters. You train prayer, bearing bones. That goes back to your skills. Certain levels you get like protections. So I can put on protection from magic. No magic attack's gonna hit me right now. So back to PvP, you're like, oh, I've got magic protection. You can't do any damage. These PvPers know exactly what to do, and they will switch to a bow. They'll bring 3-way switches. They'll have certain accounts that you can train specifically to do the maximum damage to the lowest levels you can. There's other ways to PvP, like LMS, or Last Man Standing, essentially like a Fortnite Battle Royale mode. There's a PvP arena kind of thing, so you actually battle it out and all that stuff. I suck at PvP. There's switching. Like, getting good at RuneScape PvP, you're on like a different plane of existence. It makes sense. You just have to really practice it. It's just not my thing. Another really cool thing about RuneScape is it's actively being developed. So I did say it was a version that was made back in 2007, but they are still to this day adding new updates. And they're like pretty significant ones. Like, they released a new continent fairly recently. They put out a new skill. That's kind of the latest thing. Sailing has been the latest big thing, but they're still adding stuff. So at the end of the day, quests, you can get all the quests done. You can level your skills to max. You can fight all these bosses and get the best slot armor. Is that it? Have I completed the game? Fuck no, that's just the start of it. So after you finish all of that, you can go back and do your achievements, which is just little tasks to do along the way. You ultimately do them kind of along the way, but that gives you some more rewards. There's combat achievements. There's all sorts of stuff. There's mini games. You can go for a completionist cape. You can get a music cape, get all the music tracks. That's my goal. I want the music cape. If there's one thing I'm going for in my total experience of RuneScape, is getting the music cape. The trimmed music cape. I don't even know if you can still get that. The music cape is you got to get all music tracks in the game, but that's essentially just you got to complete the game, because you got to go to all raid locations, you got to go to everywhere, you got to do all the holiday stuff, like, you got to essentially do everything. That will be mine one day. And then, let's say you finish all of that. Here's the thing, people have been playing RuneScape for a long time, and they just come up with new ways to play the game. So it got popularized a while back, but there's these things called Snowflake Iron Man accounts.
Meet Swampletics, my Mauritania-locked Ultimate Iron Man.
Back to Iron Man, I told y'all it's a self-sufficient game mode. Some people are locking themselves to different regions of the game, and they can only stay in that area. comes up with some like crazy gameplay hours. You'll have some people grinding 500 hours for just like a piece of tuna. And that gives me to kind of like my favorite part of RuneScape, and what really keeps me in it is the community or the content for it. The RuneScape community makes the best videos on this platform, period. My favorite creator of all time is Jimmy. If you can't tell, kind of inspired all this stuff. Jimmy's kind of sparked this wave of new content creators that just stand up and start talking into a microphone. But the content for RuneScape just as a whole is so good. There's been like movies made. There's people that are just like chopping their computers down back in the day.
God damn it! Why does this shit always have to fucking happen?
There's like full-on skits. There's a game show where you can win like money and stuff. Like, the content's awesome. And the developers are really in touch with the community and stuff. Jagex, I know I'm small right now, but one day I will go to RuneFest one day. I want to. It's just across the pond and I can't swing it. But yeah, my whole experience with RuneScape has always been single player. And I'm still here to this day. I'll play the game for like 3 months and then I'll quit and I'll come back, make a new account, who knows. I would say it's just the one game that you can just go at your pace. Obviously, like you have like a certain goal or a certain time frame. There's certain game modes that are limited. I know the league's either finished up recently or still going on right now. But that's a limited time game mode where you have different abilities and you do crazy stuff on there. Then there's Dead Man mode. That's like the PvP focus. It's like everywhere's PvP. It's a whole thing. But besides that, like the mainline game, you can go at your own pace. I've never done late game content. I've done a little bit of bossing, not enough to say I'm good at it. I would love to. Like Theater of Blood is, I think, the coolest thing ever, and I've never done it. I've stood outside of it just like watching Settle do his Mauritania locked Iron Man, and I would just watch it. I was like, I was there. I guess my point of all this is to say RuneScape is the one game that I feel like you can literally do whatever. Like I said, people have made game shows out of this game. People have thrown the craziest house parties of all time. People have built crazy accounts that break the game, and it's just whatever you want to do with it. There's also huge areas in this game where it's just a social hub. You go and you'll chop on trees and then you'll just type your day away. A lot of these people have like Netflix playing on a screen next to them while they're talking. Feel like they're doing something efficient while being productive. I know there was a point in time where I would be working on some kind of project or school project I was doing, and I was chopping trees in the computer right next to me. So yeah, having a little bit of a RuneScape kick. I'm probably going to come back to it. I think it's a good time for it. If you like the RuneScape content, let me know. To wrap up this video, I think I love this game because you literally can do whatever you want, however you want, play with who you want, by yourself. You can literally do anything. And it's a cool escape. You can feel like you're playing a game and you can be really locked in, or you can have it in the background while you're watching a movie. It's a game that you can literally just keep around whenever. And your account will always be where it's at. There's no season that you have to kind of keep up to date with. There's no gear you have to farm to stay relevant in the game. Like stuff you can do at level 1, there's stuff you can do when you're maxed. And there's stuff you can do together if you're a beginner and a max player. The communities mingle. Alright, I just had a huge coughing fit. I think I'm going to wrap up this video. If you've never played RuneScape before, give it a try. The free-to-play experience is amazing. Well, it's not amazing, but that's why it's amazing.
Who needs love?
My butt.
Giving free hand jobs.
We're at the Grand Exchange. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Jimmy has a whole video series where he's just in free to play talking to people. It's hilarious. Go check it out. You can experience the game for free pretty well, I would say. There's obviously a lot of limitations being a free to play player, but you can at least test it out, see if you like it. It's a fun game. I would recommend it. I don't know. I think the fast paced gaming it's a dying breed, or it should be a dying breed. Go back to kind of a RuneScape game where you just invest a lot of time in one game and just kind of progress the way you want to. Yeah, hopefully in the next video I'm not sick and I'll sound a little bit better. But if you liked today's video, just make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you play RuneScape at all. Let me know if there's any fun things or interesting things that you've done in the game, or just come play with me. I'm got no friends on that game. I play by myself. Yeah, go buy GF.